Good morning and warm welcome to KSR Data Vision. So we would be going through insights related to what is BI, what is business intelligence, what is DA, what is data analyst, and why is it important, right? Now, going further, just to make sure, I'll introduce myself. Myself, Ritesh. I have 7+ experience all into this data analyst and data engineering industry. I've been working with Microsoft since last 5+ years. I directly work with the Microsoft different teams. So there are multiple products which Microsoft deals with. So if you take a day-to-day life example like Windows, you have Microsoft Office. Along with that, nowadays the most trending product of Microsoft is Copilot. So wherever there is a copilot, wherever there is a use of artificial intelligence, wherever there is a use of machine learning, there the example of copilot comes into picture. So I've been working with multiple teams. I've been working with multiple products also. So that is what my core experience is into. I've been training multiple people since last 3 years. I've been associated with KSR Data Vision since last 2+ years. So that's my all experience into this IT industry. Now, to start with today's agenda, as I've said, what is data analyst? What exactly the data and BI analyst means, and what exactly the cloud computing advances are. Now, why in between the data analyst, why in between the BI analyst, cloud computing came into picture, right? So we will also discuss why data and why the importance of cloud will also come into picture going further. So along with that, what all skills are needed to expertise this field of data analyst? Because we would be learning all these aspects. So what all skills are required? So there are different skills, right? Now, what we would be learning, it is not only data analyst, right? There are many other skills also. There are many other aspects also, which we also can assume that as a data analyst only. Right now, let me first start the slideshow. And this agenda, once we have a basic idea, then we will go through whatever questions you have. So I have few questions in the chat itself. My good name is Ritesh. Ritesh, I'll be explaining. I have all 7 years of experience into data analyst and data engineering field. So this is my core expertise. So you can call me Ritesh. Right now, going ahead, let's take a beautiful example. Right, I'll be taking an example. How many of you are watching IPL on day-to-day basis? Right, the most trending sports, the most trending topic nowadays. How many of you are watching on day-to-day basis? Maybe you can raise your hands.
Yes, sir.
Now, how many of you have watched yesterday's match, MI versus CSK, the evening match?
Yes.
So, would there a chance? Would you consider that CSK, is there a chance to qualify for CSK in this current IPL? There are still, I guess, CSK has almost 8 matches completed, right? So there would be somewhere around 16 matches, it seems. So plus more 8 matches. So is there a chance that CSK or MI? I guess MI has a better chance. But do you think CSK has a chance to again come into top 4 and qualify for the qualifiers?
Yes, but practically not possible.
Why is it not possible?
Because we can see the current
They,
form.
They need to win all matches.
Matches. Because I'm saying
Oh,
practically it is not possible.
in all the matches. See,
possible, but
along
the
with
chances are
8
less.
matches. Why? Is there a reason behind it? See, if they
The
win,
reason
if
in
they
the
go on
sense
winning,
the approach is different from different teams.
okay. See, if
Like
they
in
go
power
on win,
play, they
if they go on winning all 8 matches, and they have won 2, it seems, right? 8+2 is somewhere
yeah
around
they will.
10 matches. Now, if the question is, if they win all 8 matches also going further, they need to be dependent on some other teams with the net run rate, right? Even if they win all 8 matches, they need to be dependent on their net run rate. Their net run rate is the lowest. They have some -2, it seems, -1.8 or -2. I'm not sure exactly. but they also have to be dependent on the other team's net run rate. There can be other teams also who have won 10 matches, right? So depending on the net run rate, what the net run rate is it positive? Is it negative? How negative is it? And what positive is it? So there is some analysis which we have to do in the background. Even if they win all 8 matches, but still there is a dependency on the other teams. There we have to do some analysis. Now, what is this analysis? Analysis can be called as data analysis. It's just a data analysis. So I'm talking about a match. Let's talk about IPL overall. I'll not talk about a match. Let's talk about IPL overall. So IPL has many sources of income. There are many sources, not only one. So there are many sources of income. So their first source of income is their sponsors. The main sponsor is Tata. Along with that, there are many other sub-sponsors. I mean, maybe they can also call it as a main sponsors, but the title sponsor is Tata. So these are the main sponsors of IPL. Now, why am I taking this as an example is what all are different sources of income for IPL, right? Even once the IPL is done for 2025, if they're closing the IPL by end of May, after that, the IPL is completed, there would be a specific team who would be working on analysis of data from which sources of income we got a better money, right? So what does this money mean? Money means business. So if you want more business, how do we understand that business? By analyzing that business, by understanding the business. I mean, what is the idea behind from where we are getting the money? Okay, we are lagging at some point. Maybe we are lagging at certain sectors. We are lagging at certain sources of income. So how can we improve that sources of income? Right. So there are many sources of income for IPL. The biggest source is their sponsors. The biggest source, right? The title sponsor is Tata since last 3 or 2 years. Tata is their title sponsor. I guess going further, also Tata will be this title sponsor for next 2 years. But along with that, there are many other sponsors also who are giving millions of dollars for this IPL. Now, if these companies are giving millions of dollars, would you think that if Tata is paying so much money, there is a reason behind it, right? It might be Tata, it might be PhonePe, it might be Wonder Cement, whichever sponsor there might be a reason. What is the reason? If IPL is earning money from Tata, I mean earning money from Tata, even Tata is also earning money from their sponsorship, right? They have a free publicity. IPL is being watched by minimum 25 to 30 crore people at a time. So reaching that much amount of target audience is very less. If you, I mean, if you do any other sponsorship also, it would be comparatively very less. But if you take the sponsorship of IPL or maybe some other important sports like FIFA also, FIFA World Cup also very large fan base. So if Tata is sponsoring, that means they are also earning money from their sponsorship. They are improving their business. So that is how the current market works. Wherever you are spending money, you are also expecting that you should earn money from that. So even the IPL is also spending money. I mean, there's some, I mean, spending some money on the teams, but along with that, they're getting multiple sources of income. Sponsors is one of them. The second one is advertising, right? How many of you use Dream 11 or any other betting apps, right? Betting is not that bad, but these are all legal bettings. So, and many of you people use Dream 11, many of you people use My 11 Circle. There are many other apps also. So from there, if you're spending some amount on Dream 11, they're also earning some money from you, right? They're not directly uh, collecting the money and distributing among all other people, right? They're also earning some money. So second source of income is advertising. I'll ask a very beautiful question now. Team and owner purchases. So can anyone answer me? What is the, I mean, which team has the highest revenue generation in IPL? There are two teams, 122 and 120 million. Can anyone guess?
Mumbai.
CSK and Mumbai.
RCB.
RCB and CSK.
Okay. This 122 million belongs to CSK. And this 120 million belongs to MI. RCB is somewhere near to these, somewhere around $112 million. I guess these three teams will dominate complete IPL going further also. But what are these revenues? These revenues are revenues which are spent by their owners. Depending on what amount they are spending, they are also earning money from the IPL, right? They spend this amount to purchase a team, to give some maybe certain amount to IPL, right? Because they are also earning money from the IPL sponsorships, other purchases also. It doesn't mean that if CSK owner or MI owner is spending amount, they'll never earn the money. They are also earning money. Return money is also there, right? So that is called as business. That is called as business intelligence, right? We are intelligently dealing with the team purchases, and IPL is also giving us certain sponsorship money. I mean, there could be a chance that they're spending 1,000 crores on a team, but they would earn that 1,000 crores maybe somewhere around 1,500, 2,000 crores, double the amount. So that's how the businesses work. Now, along with team purchases, the other option is streaming and broadcasting. Star Sports. Star Sports has their regional channels also. Star Sports Marathi, Star Sports Telugu, Star Sports Tamil, Star Sports Punjabi. There are many other languages. Geo Hotstar. I'm not sure how many of you are viewing Geo on daily basis. I mean, viewing IPL on Geo Hotstar only. But if you take an example, on an average, 25 to 30 crore people at a time are viewing the IPL matches. So that's how the vast base is. I mean, if you sponsor anything, if you advertise anything, you can easily reach out to around 30, 40 crore of people within seconds. And if you are reaching that much target, you can also expect a good money. You can also expect a good revenue. So if you're getting revenue, from which sector you are getting revenue, how do we analyze that? Are we good in that sector? Are we dropping in that sector? I mean, if there is a loss, we need to analyze that. Right? Even IPL also has certain sectors which they earned, I mean, the earning is not up to the mark. There might be some losses also. Not every time IPL is in every time in every sector is in profit. There can be certain sectors where there are losses as well. So they need to identify where they are going down. Now, one more example is stadium and tickets. Now, if you consider, there is one more example, one is merchandising. If you consider all 5 or 6 examples, sponsors is where IPL will always be in profit. They're never in loss. Because sponsorship is right, everything they are getting as a full-time money. Advertising, still they will be still in profit. Team and owner purchases, still I guess this would be also in profit. Even streaming would be on profit. But if you consider the last two entities, if you're considering the last two entities, this would be loss and this would be loss. I'm not saying this would be a very large loss. If suppose sponsors we are getting around 100 rupees, I'm talking about 100 rupees, the same amount, this is 100 rupees as a profit from sponsorship. But the loss which we will, or which IPL will gain, or which IPL will lose in terms of stadiums or merchandising would be somewhere around 10 rupees or 5 rupees. We're very talking about very less amount. Just an example. So if 100 rupees they are getting as a profit and they're losing only 5 or 10 rupees, they will never close this business, right? Stadium tickets will be always with IPL only. Yes, they will share some amount with the local cricket boards also, because cricket boards are what they are owning that stadiums, they are maintaining that stadiums. But if IPL feels that we are not getting good enough money from stadium or tickets or from merchandising, they will never close this business. They'll still continue, because the amount of losses are less and amounts of profit which they are getting, which they are gaining from sponsors, advertising, all other aspects would be more. So whenever you are considering any specific business, never only consider losses. We should also consider all other entities. That's how the business analysis, that's how the data analysis works. Right? Any questions here? Any questions? Any random questions? Okay. If there are no questions, good enough. Let's continue further. Now, take a look at this. So let's take the day-to-day life example. How many of you read the newspapers? Reading newspapers, not about reading news. It's just reading newspapers. How many of you read? It might be any your regional language newspaper or maybe any other language newspapers. Okay. See, I see only one or two ads. So how many of you read news from Instagram, Twitter, or maybe your mobile devices?
In shorts.
In any application, right? The number of hands are more. Now, why is it the case? Because our human tendency is wherever there is a written information, it will take some time to understand. Because, see, we are very lethargic nowadays. As a human being, if you want to learn something, if you have to read end to end, we are very lethargic. Lethargic in the sense, lazy. We need not read. If we can view something, we can easily guess it, right? We can easily remember. So if you want to read any news, if there is a image, certain image, you can easily guess, right? Or maybe if you use a Twitter or if you use a any application in shorts, there are many other Times of India app is also there, Indian Express app is also there. So rather than reading newspaper, what you prefer is wherever there are pictures or maybe your mobile devices, because you'll be able to get some pictures, right? Get some idea what is going on with that specific news. So considering newspaper or considering any online app or wherever there is a picture being printed, it is very easy to read and understand. Why? Because if you want to understand anything, let's take the visualization example. Visualization analogy means if there is a picture and if there is that same picture written in text, you will understand that picture 60,000 times faster. Why? Because our human brain is developed in such a manner that if you view any picture, it is easy to grasp, easy to understand, and you see the percentage 95% of people will also retain what you have viewed in that image. Retain means if you're reading something, right? If you forget it, there is no use. You're reading something important, and if you forget, it is of no use. But if you have seen a picture and you can remember it for a longer duration, that would be very, very beneficial. Now, that is called as visualization analogy. Whatever you view in terms of picture, whatever you view in terms of a certain diagrammatic representation, you can remember it faster, you can understand it faster, and the most important thing is you would also retain that information. Retention of information is also important. Whereas if you read something, a pure text, it might take certain time to understand, maybe twice or thrice the time of you viewing a picture, but you will not be able to recall it after some time. You might forget it. So that is the importance of visualization. Now, how we can relate business and visualization is, so wherever there is a business needs to understand where there are profits, where there are losses. So how would they understand? Using certain visuals, using certain graphs. So that graphs is what the data analyst or BI analyst would further go ahead and develop as a BI engineer or a data analyst. That is the role of a data analyst. Right? So this is what the visualization gives. This is what, how do we analyze the business? We have seen this is the business. Wherever there are losses, we should never close that. Understand the loss, analyze that business. Once you analyze it, visualize that business, create some charts, give some analogy to it, where we are going wrong. Okay, how can we improve? So that is what the visualization analysis or that is what the business intelligence is. Now, if I take an example of this is just this is not the IPL source of income. This is just an IPL dashboard for 2000. Can anyone guess which year, which year's dashboard is it?
2022.
How come?
Gujarat Titans were the winner, I believe. 22 or 20.
Mhm.
23.
Okay. Gujarat Titans won in 23 or 22? 22. It's 2022.
Yeah,
Where,
against RR, I think.
yeah. So in 2022, they won the, which, no, not against RR. It was against LSG, Lucknow Super Giants. Right. So if you want to read something, if I share this dashboard, it is very easy to understand. Why? Because we can easily read. All the information is in some charts. It is very interactive, right? Very interactive.
No, I think it was against RR.
Oh, was it against RR?
Yeah.
In 2022?
Yes, 22. 29th May 22.
Very good. So people, how do you analyze? You are going back and you're searching something, right? Maybe you might search, or some of them are very good cricket fans, they might remember also. Good understanding of data. It was against RR. RR was the runners. Now, just giving a small hint that it was like Lucknow Super Giants, but it was against RR. Now, we can create the same dashboard for the IPL source of income as well. Maybe we would not get the exact numbers from the IPL. They might not reveal the numbers, but similar way, you can create any dashboards in any BI tool. I'm not only talking about certain set of BI tools. There can be any multiple BI tools which are available in the market. So we'll also analyze which BI tool is best. We'll also further analyze which BI tool is best. Now, this is just a dashboard. Now, coming to the data part, there can be many types of data. It is not that there would be only one type of data, right? There can be geographical data, there can be financial data, there can be natural data, there can be transport data. Now, what these types of data means? These types of data means these are different businesses. These are different businesses. So, can anyone guess what would be the cultural business? What would be the cultural business? You can guess it from the icon, right? Education. Cultural business means education. What would be the financial business? Very easy to guess.
Banking.
Bank, your stock market. See, even statistics comes under stock market. Statistics is part of every other business here. Transport, your railways, roadways, you're considering your airways. The Indigo, you take an example of Indigo, you're taking an example of Indian, the Air India, you're taking an example of some US airlines like Delta, American Airlines. These are the largest users of BI tools in current market. You take an example of meteorology, your weather department, wherever you go. Now, the reason to take this diagram is wherever there is a data, there the analysis of data is important. There are different types of data, there are different types of segments, there are different types of sectors, but every sector has to analyze where they are going wrong, where they are going right, how we can make sure that wherever we are going wrong, we can improve ourselves. So data means analysis, analysis means business intelligence means the role of data analyst will come into picture. So whichever sector you understand, whichever sector you learn, or whichever sector you are expertise in, you need to have a knowledge of data and analysis. That is where the data analyst role comes into picture. right? Now, let's take an example. See, whatever you are typing, even whatever we are discussing is all about data only. Whatever I'm presenting now, this is also data. So that data would be stored in 0 or 1 format in the background, the computer understandable language. Now, we'll not go in depth of it, why only 0 and 1, because 0 and 1 is your binary information. So, more the data, more we need to analyze and improve the business. That is why the role of data analyst is important. So wherever there is a data, there should be a data analyst. You take any example, you take any business, in all the businesses, data analysts are part of it. So that is why data analyst is one of the hot topic or the most important job, which would be, maybe you can consider yourself, you will be in this data analyst role for next 5 or 10 years. 5 to 10 years, you will, this data analyst role will nowhere be, you cannot say it is downgraded. It would be always an increasing trend for next 5 or maybe 5 plus, or you can say up to 10 years of your next 10 years. If you're considering your 2025 up till 2035, data analyst is in complete boom. Now, if we think of data analyst, what else he has to understand? What else he has to perform? So these are just a BI tools. I'm just taking an example. Power BI. The second one is Tableau. Then there is a Click. Then there's a MicroStrategy. Right? If we think of data analyst, we need to think of business. We need to think of business means we need to think of business intelligence. Now, what is business intelligence? It's just a visualization. We can create charts, we can create some statistics, we can create some tables, we can create some visuals. So this is all about business intelligence. Now, if you're considering all 4 important tools, we need to identify which tool is most important, right? Every tool has its own statistics, every tool has its own behavior. But what or which tool will be going to rule this current data analyst role? See, data analyst doesn't only mean reporting, because until now, whatever we have discussed, it is not only visualization. Apart from visualization, first you need to understand what is data, where we are going wrong. We need to do some analysis. Then only we can create some visuals or reports, right? So it includes understanding of data. It includes requirement. What is the business requirement, right? You cannot directly jump and create charts. You need to understand the business. Cleaning of data. And the last part is reporting. These are the 4 important points which we need to consider while choosing any specific tool. I'm not saying that you should only choose a certain tool which is best fit for the company. No, we can suggest them that, okay, in current market, this tool is best. We can also suggest them that these 4 important points we need to understand. Depending on these points, we can decide which tool is best for fit for us. Now, if you are considering these 4 important tools, which tool is best fit? We need to again analyze, right? So let's analyze, right? Let's analyze. Forget about the left chart. Forget about this left chart. Only consider the right chart. Focus on the right chart. Now, what does this right chart mean? If you take a look at this right chart is giving you an idea. This is a Gartner chart. This chart is a Gartner chart. Now, what the Gartner means? Gartner is a company. On every year basis, they will create or they'll analyze which tools, which business intelligence tools are good fit for the market. Now, if you're taking an example, I mean, this would be around June and July of every year. Now we are still in the month of April 2025. So 25 chart is 25 diagram. This quadrant is not yet released. So we will be considering 24. So if you take an example, what is Microsoft? Microsoft is nothing but your Power BI. Power BI is your reporting tool, right? So PBI, Power BI is your Microsoft. Now, these quadrants are divided into different separate squares, right? Every quadrant has its own significance. This is the leaders quadrant. The second is the challengers. The third is the niche players. And the fourth is the visionary. If you take a look at the gap also between the second highest and the highest, second highest is the Tableau. There is a large gap. There's a large gap. Even though both of them are the leaders quadrant only, there is a large gap. Now, this gap will give you a significance that why Power BI is leading the market. Now, the reason to show this diagram is in this particular course, we would be learning reporting tool, which is Power BI. Now, why Power BI we would be learning? The reason is it is the current market leader. No other tool, even though the other tools are leader quadrant tools, but no other tool is near to Microsoft. Now, I would request you people to go back and check this Gartner quadrant starting from 2017, 18, 19 till 2024. If you go back and check the 2017 quadrant, Power BI was not a part of leaders quadrant. It was nowhere. But again in 2018, it was part of leaders quadrant. It was second to Tableau. But from 2019, you can easily search it on Google. Gartner's quadrant, Gartner's Power BI quadrant for 2017, 18, 19, you can easily check. Starting from 2019 until today, now you can consider even in 2025, Microsoft would be the leader, Power BI would be the leader. It will still have the most important market presence. It will still lead that. So that is the reason we would be learning Power BI in our further sessions. The reason, I was supposed to show the reason, right? Why only Power BI? So this is one of the most important reasons. Now, along with that, these four parts, right? It includes understanding of data, analysis of data, cleaning of data. So there are many other tools along with Power BI, right? There is this Tableau as well. There is this Tableau as well. So why not Tableau? Why not Tableau? Why only Power BI? Because see, Tableau lacks certain components. In Tableau, you cannot do easily any ETL operation. Cleaning of data is not easily possible in Tableau. It is a bit complex. If you go with Click also, it is not that easily possible. And same with MicroStrategy. Now, these four are the important tools. Along with these four, there are many other tools. There are 40 other tools which are available in the market. But why only Power BI is? Power BI comes with certain advantages. The most important advantages out of all 65 or 70 folks who have joined, I'm sure that somewhere around 50 plus students or 50 plus people would able to understand how Microsoft Excel works. I'm assuming it might be around 50 plus. I'm not saying that everyone would be able to, if everyone knows Excel, I'm not saying in depth of Excel, but some or other way you will know what is Microsoft Excel. So if you know Microsoft Excel, if you know how to use it, Power BI is developed on top of Microsoft Excel. It's very easy to use, easy to grasp, and easy to understand as well. That is why the Power BI is the market leader. It's a product of Microsoft. Even Excel is a product of Microsoft Office. So that's why we are learning Microsoft Power BI. Along with market leader, there are some advantages with respect to some other tools. Now let's come down to the left part. Along with the Microsoft Power BI, now why cloud is important? First, we need to understand it. So you are accessing this recording via Zoom. I'm able to share my screen and I'm able to present what I want to present. So how this process is happening, this is all connected via internet. And this internet is passing all this information via a cloud, right? Even once the session is completed, you can access the recording. So where that recording is stored, this recording is stored in the cloud. So wherever there is a data, if you want to store that data, you have to store it in a cloud. So if data comes, cloud will also come. That is the reason we would be learning cloud. In simple terms, I've explained it in very simple manner. Wherever there is a data, if you want to access the data, right? So if you keep some important data in one of the laptop, you cannot access that laptop until and unless you are owner of that laptop or until and unless you know the username and password, right? And if some person, that laptop is kept in Mumbai, and if some person want to access that laptop or the information present in that laptop from Delhi, it is not possible, right? That information has to be on cloud. You can access cloud from any part of the world. So that is the importance of cloud. accessibility, and easily, I mean, you can easily grasp that cloud also. You can easily access the information from any part of the world, and you can easily retrieve that information. So wherever there is a data, there would be cloud. So that is the reason, along with reporting, along with business intelligence, we would be learning cloud also in these sessions going further. And which cloud? The Power BI is a product of Microsoft. And if you take an example of Microsoft, again in the cloud, Azure is the cloud which is present in the market. If you learn any specific tool, that tool has, I mean, you're learning cloud, you're learning reporting. So why not learn both similar products which are introduced by Microsoft? We can go with Amazon. I'm not saying we cannot learn Amazon. But if you learn Microsoft Azure along with Power BI, what benefit you will get is Power BI. I mean, what is Power BI? Power BI is a reporting tool. So you need to connect the data from certain different sources. So Azure has around 50 plus services which can be easily accessed in Power BI because both are product of Microsoft. So you can easily access Power BI or any other data coming from Azure directly to Power BI rather than AWS. I'm not saying AWS is not accessible.
Sir, are you there? We are not hearing
You are
you.
not audible, sir.
Hello team, please wait 2 minutes. I will check with team trainer.
My bad. I've rejoined. I guess there is some network issue at my end. Let me reshare it. Yep. Able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess we were on this slide, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, anyways, we discussed about cloud. Anyways, we discussed about business intelligence, the reporting tool. Let's discuss about the role of a data analyst or a BI engineer is about. Now, if you take a look at this, understand this diagram, maybe I'll explain it. This is cloud. This is also cloud. Even this is cloud. Now, what the role of a data analyst is, he need to take a structured, unstructured, any kind of data. You cannot directly take this data and connect it to the Power BI, right? You cannot skip all these parts in between. Because if you get the raw data to the Power BI, it is very difficult to clean the data in Power BI. You can clean certain amount of data, but not end to end. So while going through process of connecting from the structured and unstructured to the Power BI, there are certain aspects in between which we need to understand, which we need to identify, which will help us to clean the data, transform the data, and then further dump it to certain location from where we can connect it to the Power BI. So these are all the important aspects in between. This in between components, you can call it as ETL. extract, transform, and load. So you need to do all these processes, and then only you can go ahead and connect your data to the Power BI. So all these services are on cloud, including your data. Data can be also from a cloud or cannot be also from cloud. It can be on-premise. But while processing your data, while cleaning your data, you need to use all the cloud services. That is the reason we are going through all these clouds as well as reporting to cloud services. I'm not talking about only one specific service. There are multiple services which are available. So let me first explain what would be the course duration. This course would be of 4 months. I'll come to that previous slide also, but this course would be your first 4 months. Now, for this batch, we have already completed with SQL. It's closed. Now, closed means it doesn't mean that you'll be joining with Power BI. You'll not be able to access SQL. No, you will be able to access. The thing is, once Power BI and Azure is done, we will again start with a new batch where you will be learning SQL. If that is very late for you, we will also share the recordings of the current batch. You can access them also. If you're not even satisfied with that, you will be again added to the new batch. This is only for SQL. Now, anyways, we are starting with Power BI. Somewhere there would be around 35 to 40 sessions of Power BI. Now, why only 35 to 40 and how come it is 4 months? We have sessions from Monday to Friday, not on Saturday, Sunday, only on weekdays. Same time, 8 to 9:30 a.m. 1.5 hours. So once Power BI is done, along with Power BI, we would be learning all other tools. This is an example of Microsoft Fabric. This is your Fabric. Now, data scientist is not an important aspect for us, but data engineering tools are important. We will be learning this, we will be learning this, we will be learning this. Along with this, anyways, Power BI is part of it. Data warehouse is part of it. So what we would be learning in Power BI is end-to-end Power BI, including projects. Once the Power BI is done, we would be starting with Azure. Azure means Azure Data Factory. So what important components we would be covering in Azure? Mostly we would be covering Azure Data Factory because this is what a data analyst has to use on day-to-day basis. After this, there are some dependent services. These are all the dependent services. And at last, we would be learning basics of these 3 components or these 3 services. We are not going to learn in depth of Synapse, in depth of Databricks, because these are not a part of data analyst role. These are more a kind of data engineering, pure data engineering. This is what, I mean, in Databricks or Synapse, you require more amount of coding. So that we are going to reduce. We are going to focus more on data factory, which is more a kind of drag and drop. Certain logic, certain formulas we have to use that we are going to cover. Right. So this is the exact course duration. Now I'll also let you know what would be the costing. It is 27K. Now, why 27K? 27K is for one-time payment. Ideally, it is 30. If you make 3, 10, 10, 10. If you make one-time payment, it is 27. And if you make 2 payments, it is 28K. That means 14 plus 14. Now, in this batch, there are already people who have joined with SQL. So they will be continuing with us. Whenever who wants to connect, whenever who wants to learn this, they would be, I mean, this today's first session. There are still 4 more sessions we would be covering, which is totally free. So you can go through all 4 sessions, understand how am I teaching. From tomorrow itself, I'll be starting with components of Power BI, how Power BI works, what all cloud components are there. So there you will understand more in depth. So still you have 4 more days to decide. Once you're good with my understanding, my teaching, maybe you are able to understand, then you can continue further. This was all about course. Now, if I go back one slide back, which is the complete fabric. What is fabric is, see, whatever we are learning in Azure, that same components are present in fabric. Same, A to Z. So whatever we would be learning in Azure, you can correlate that in fabric also. So I'll be explaining the differences, what we learn in fabric or what we learn in Azure, how to interrelate each other, how to use them. Now, the reason to take this much amount is you will be getting 2 months of Power BI premium license, premium per user license, PPU, which will be somewhere around 2000 Indian rupees. 2000 per month. So 4000 we are investing on you for the Power BI license. Now, this was all about our discussion today. I'm good with what we discussed. I'm open for questions. Let please raise your hand so that you can ask your question and be able to answer it. I have few questions in the chat. Yeah, where we can find today's recording? Just a moment. Do we have? I guess no. Let me share my own screen only and I'll let you know where can you find this recording. Just a moment. Give me a second. I'm sharing my screen. See, once you log into this KSR Data Vision, you can search it in the Google. You will be in this website. You have to click on sign. Right. So once you sign in, you need to sign up if you're very new. You are directly accessing the Zoom recording now. It's a live session. The link is shared. That's the reason there is no login required. But the thing is, if you're very new to this KSR, you need to log in. You need to click on sign up. Once you sign up, you can mention your email ID and password. Click on sign in. It would be signed in. So once this is open, I'll let you know how can you access it. You can go to the explore courses, click on free sessions. The very first option, the window, which is this Power BI Analytics. Click on here. See, it is giving you an option to buy now. It is not required. You can directly access this course. Once you click on access now, so you can download some SQL YouTube videos also if required. You can download the course curriculum. Course curriculum, you should be part of this lessons tab in the course curriculum. This is the PDF. This is a 19-page PDF. And if you go to the third option here, class records, see, first session is still live. So you can join. Once the session is completed, you can click on access recording. The thing is, you need to create a KSR Data Vision website account using your personal emails, Gmail, Yahoo, whichever email. You can create your account, come down to explore courses. Once you click on explore courses, it would open that tab. Click on free sessions. The very first window is your Power BI. So you can click on access now. It would open this way. You will be in the lessons option. Do not go to this lessons. Lessons is for PDF, download something. You need to go to the class records to access your recordings. So first 5 records. See, you can see there are 4 more days which are available. You can access the recordings. Now, let me also help you who can go through these courses. Who is the right person to go through this course? Any non-tech person, any person who is having a gap in technical experience, who want to change their background from pure technical to Power BI or pure non-tech to Power BI, anyone can go through this. You have any gap also. This course is also suitable for fresher. The thing is, from us, the job assistance is what? We will help you to make your LinkedIn accounts There would be sessions related to LinkedIn accounts. There would be sessions related to resume preparation. What is project management? How agile way of working works. So all these we would be going to discuss. It is not that we will be only discussing technical skills. Everything which is required for the industry, everything which is required for a data analyst, once you go into project, all that aspects would be, we would be covering. So you need not worry on that. Now, from the job assistance point of view, see, we will be pushing you. There are some opportunities from the KSR, and also we'll be sharing your profiles. That's how we will be giving you assistance. It is not that we will guarantee you. The thing is, you have to put your efforts, right? Until and unless an individual efforts are there, there is no positive outcome. So we will definitely push you to that specific point that you should be able to clear the interviews. There are many interview questions would also be shared, so you need not worry on that. Right. So this is a common answer for multiple questions which I've got in the chat. Even if you have any gap, also you're from mechanical field, as I've said, non-tech field to tech field, whichever field you are part of, this course is designed in such a way that you'll be able to understand from the very basic point. We are going to cover from everything from scratch. For the Databricks, will I be covering PySpark? Ma'am, in this course, there is no Python. I'll only cover basics of PySpark at the end while discussing Databricks. Not end to end, because this is not purely data engineering. As I've said, it is basics of Databricks. What is the use of Databricks in data analyst? How we can use that cluster configuration, the notebook, that is what we are going to discuss. But our more focus would be on ADF, Azure Data Factory, which is the most important tool for any BI analyst. Any other questions? Can we understand Power BI without doing SQL? Yeah, it's Meghana. See, the thing is, if you would have joined with SQL, if the Power BI complexity is, maybe you will be able to understand 85-90% of Power BI. But if you have joined with SQL, it could be 100%. So I'm saying that that 10% gap is there that we would be going to cover in the sessions itself. So you need not worry. Again, as I've said, you will be shared with SQL recordings. If you are not getting time to go through that recordings, anyways, you will be added to a new batch. So there is no as such drawback. Bhavani, what about experience from operations background? Yeah, you can still attend. There will be no problem. You're from operations also. See, again, I've said we would be covering from A, B, C. So how to form a word, including everything we would be going to cover. Shakil, any word?
Yeah, can I know how many projects you will do totally? You will do.
Can you please repeat your question? I just missed.
Yeah, after completing the Power BI, this Azure cloud services, how many projects we will do?
Now the question is, see, if you know the basics, only you will be able to cover through the projects. From the project point of view, we would be covering 3 projects. Now, I'll be sharing, along with the 3 projects, I'll be sharing multiple other data sets also in between. So you can assume that somewhere around 5-6 projects would be covered, but 3 would be covered from my end to end. The others would be data sets. You would be shared with the data sets. You can practice. If you have any questions, you will be added to a WhatsApp group. You can ask any questions there. From the day one itself, day one means from next Monday, you will be added to that WhatsApp group. You will be able to ask any questions there. I'll be able to answer. So you need not worry on that.
There will be any assessments, means individual topics like DAX, these all.
Yeah. That's we are going to cover. Once every session is completed, see, whatever I am practicing, I'll be sharing some data sets also for your practice. See, the thing is, assessment, I'm not your teacher here. So if you are not completing your assessment, I'll not scold you. I'll not say that you are not working. It is up to you how you are completing. The only thing is I can give you a push. I'll always give you official. I'll always check whether you are practicing or not. If you're not practicing, I'll still give you some other examples also. But the thing is, you have to put some effort. So that is what the expectations. But anyways, push would be there.
Yeah, if after learning DAX, we should have to practice some questions like those questions we will be given by you.
Yeah. I'll be sharing interview questions. I'll be sharing what kind of questions you can expect in further, maybe in day-to-day life also, how we can use that in any projects. Day-to-day life means day-to-day life of a data analyst. So how you can use your DAX, how you can use your concepts, all that we will be discussing.
Actually, uh, from Power BI I am joining now. Actually, I have
Your
knowledge
voice is
of.
very low.
Now it is audible.
Maybe you're speaking, but your voice is very low.
Now it is audible.
Yeah, it's okay, kind of okay.
Yeah, actually, I have some knowledge on SQL.
Mm-hmm.
Is that is sufficient? Means I have knowledge on some CT and Windows functions, but I
Mm-hmm.
did not have knowledge on stored procedure. Those all.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
But
See, if you have basic knowledge, you can still, as I've said, we would be again giving you SQL. So, see, in KSR, every course contains SQL. So you take data engineering, data scientist also, or some other course also. Yes, there would be SQL. So you need not worry. You can still learn SQL from.
can I know what tools will be covered under cloud? Means once can you show?
See,
I,
if you go to this, I've shown you, right? Create your account in KSR, go to this course curriculum, go to this lessons option. You can download the PDF what we are going to cover. You can download this. It will take some time to load. Once this is loaded, you can download the PDF. Including SQL, everything is mentioned as your SQL Power BI. So this will be useful. This is a pamphlet. You can call it as a pamphlet, right?
yeah. Thank you, Ritesh.
Now there is one more question. Can we okay build resume building? See again I've said resume building, LinkedIn account preparation, interview preparation, agile project management, all this would be going to cover from our. There is a dedicated team who will help you to create your resumes. The thing is, see, I've seen people, it's just an example. I've seen people who directly come to us, I want to prepare my resume. Until and unless you create some draft version of your resume, we cannot download, we cannot recreate it, we cannot update it, right? So the thing is, you have to create a basic resume as if it's a standard job market resume we would be creating or we'll be helping you. There is a dedicated team which is working on it, so they'll definitely help you. Yeah. Any other questions?
So for the SQL, we will add it in the new batch, like we who are like, or we are only prefer the recorded session for SQL.
Okay. So in simple manner, see, you will be given this current batch recordings also. You can access them. The thing is, if you're not able to understand, there are many other batches which are going in parallel. Maybe data scientist, data engineering, maybe after 10 days, 15 days. You will have an option to get added yourself there because there also SQL will be same. If you're not even satisfied with that, you will be added to the new batch, which would be starting after Azure, Power BI Azure. Then you'll be starting with a new batch of SQL. Again, the same trainer. I will be the trainer, you will be added to that batch. So you have three options. And all three options are open. I'm not saying only one option is open. You take all three options, that is still fine. Any other questions?
Satish.
Yeah, Basal, go ahead.
Yeah. So as we already completed SQL and going through this Power BI now, Can we have one session, just 1 hour or half an hour, to just to know about the roles and responsibilities of SQL and this Power BI to get added in the resume, our resume?
I will take, see, once, okay, another, okay, so I'll simplify. So Basav is part of the existing batch who joined with SQL. So in simple terms, once the Power BI paid sessions were going to start, one of the weekend, maybe not this weekend, then the very next weekend, I'll be taking a session on resume building, because see, there will be 2 sessions on resume, not only one. 2. Why? Because first is you need to create a basic resume. Once that is done, you can share with our team. Again, final resume session would be different. Along with that, as I've said, one more weekend I'll be taking a session on LinkedIn. So I might have asked a question, how many of you own a LinkedIn account, or how many of you are active on it? So the reason behind was I need to check how many people are interactive and what all points I need to cover. So I'll be definitely taking that. So you need not worry on the resume building, LinkedIn preparation. I'll be taking a session. What to mention, how to mention. Yeah.
So I want to know, along with Power BI, is it mandated to have having experience in Python as well?
Okay. See, if you have experience in Python, it is added advantage. It is not compulsion for the role which we are learning these courses for SQL, Power BI, ADF. This is a different set. There is SQL and Python also, which you can call as a data analyst, but that role is totally different. There is no reporting in that role. There is only Python analysis of data. There is no reporting of data. In this course, there is analysis of data in SQL and reporting in Power BI. If you want to do some analysis, if you want to do some data cleaning, you can do it in ETL, which is Data Factory, and some other services in Azure. So for this course, there is no compulsion of Python. If you're learning Python and SQL, that's a different.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Hi, Ritesh.
Hey, Jay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, how much ADF and how much Fabrics is covered in this course?
ADF is 100% Fabric. From a data analyst point of view, it is 100% Fabric we are going to cover. Because in Fabric, there is data scientist also, which is not required. Then in Fabric, there is data engineering, AI, ML models, which is also not required. But ADF, Synapse engineering, warehousing, data marts, data lakes, all these related to data analyst would be covered 100%.
Okay.
ADF is also 100%. You did not worry. For ADF, I'll be taking 10 to 12 sessions, which is end-to-end ADF. More, including all the activities, what is the behavior of it, how it works. So it is more than enough. Yeah, any other questions? Okay, I feel there are no questions. It's just 9:06. It's the first session. That's the reason we have closing it early. If you still have any questions, you can write it down. You can reach out to our KSR team. If not, there are 4 more sessions left. You can ask me any sort of questions in that 4 sessions. I'll be able to answer it. See, the thing is, you wait for next 3 or 4 sessions, only then you can take your decision. We are not saying that you should take your decision in 1 or 2 days. So still have 4 more sessions. Whatever questions you have, write it down. Ask me once that sessions are completed. Next 4 sessions, I'll be able to answer it. Right, all full for today, and have a very good day. Let's connect back tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.